Okay, it's Donkey React in time. Join our Discord. I don't know what the hell stuff I can say, but like, it's getting to the point though. So he made a review for Uncharted 4, like it says 7 years ago. So I guess he's revisiting it for some reason.
Yeah, he just wanted to play it again, I guess.
I guess, yeah, we'll find out. But I mean, it's like hard did a video on this, but who's stopping me from doing it again?
Right.
When I
Oh, what the? Yeah, I like. Okay.
Donkey.
first reviewed Uncharted 4 back in 2016, I said, do you know that even I am wrong sometimes? I then proceeded to be wrong about Uncharted 4, and what this proves is that I am actually never wrong. Uncharted 4 is one of the best games ever made. Don't even try to argue otherwise. Remember, I can never be wrong, but back then, I was wrong, and I'm gonna prove it. In my old review, I said Uncharted 4 has the most boring climbing ever. This is more true for the first 3 Uncharted games. In those games, the climbing is very stiff and mostly there so that the player can spend time looking at the pretty.
I don't know. I remember at least playing Uncharted 2.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I thought the climbing was really tight.
Yeah.
At least for the time, like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting the perfect climbing mechanics.
Right. It's like only, it was like a very standout thing other than like, I guess Assassin's Creed.
Right.
So.
Graphics. Uncharted 4's climbing is faster and much more satisfying in its presentation. When you land on a wooden floor, you hear the thud reverberate because there's nothing underneath it. Nathan Drake has all these unique animations depending on what he's actually climbing on. I mean, look at this. Boom, unique animation. Now watch some dudes. Oh, what he did? He said, "Wama, wama."
Is there ever a shot where Nathan Drake is shirtless? Because realistically, there's no. He has to be massively ripped, right? Like, how else could you?
Oh yeah. He's not climbing these things like with no muscle on his bones. Come on.
You can drop way down onto a dude's head and say pop. Eventually, you get this tool, which lets you hook into walls, rappel down ropes. When you're in a precarious.
I never played Uncharted 4.
Really emphasize.
Oh, 4 was so good.
I keep thinking about like getting the Uncharted collection on PC, like when it's low on sale.
Oh yeah.
And then like maybe just something a dumb fun one whenever we get a studio and just play it.
Yeah.
It makes you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna die. The huge leaps feel so.
Hey, let me ask you something. It's kind of related. Would you rather climb like a 10-story like rock, or go cave diving for that of the equivalent distance?
Is cave diving like where you like squeeze through tight spots?
Yes.
No. I've climbed the rock. They
Gotcha.
both just make me want to just
definitely okay.
Restart from checkpoint.
That's a right. Okay.
Weighty and satisfying. And then there's the incredible clock tower sequence where you're jumping across moving gears and sliding through them. Don't get me wrong, the climbing is the weakest aspect of this game, but it's impressive how much love went into the weakest part of the game. What's cool about Uncharted 4 is that traversal is more than just climbing.
That looks really fun to do.
Now we're in business.
In my old review,
like
I said, put
swinging around,
right? In every game from now on. Today, it is a legal requirement that every video game has to have a grappling hook. You're welcome. By combining this with the sliding mechanics, you get much more dynamic platforming than we've ever seen with this franchise.
Whoa!
You know, I loved Uncharted. I think I played 2. 2's multiplayer.
Oh, the multiplayer for Uncharted was great. They had it in 4. 4 was really good still, too.
Yeah.
Made it.
There's also scuba diving. You drive a boat and a Jeep, and what's really messed up is how good the handling on the Jeep is. Kojima Productions has some of the most talented game developers in the industry, and even they were struggling with vehicle collision in Death Stranding. The terrain in Uncharted is similarly lopsided and hilly, and yet the Jeep can handle everything you throw at it. Rickety little bridges, sudden drop-offs, food stands, other Jeeps, roaring currents, large boulders. Somehow this rental Jeep...
I didn't know there was so much driving in this game. I thought it was just one sequence. Wait, what? Wait.
It had like a grapple hook or
like a tether
chain. Yeah.
This rental
okay. I don't see that. Okay, I think I just saw it for a hot second.
Extremely, the whole game is about using vehicles to deliver packages. Driving is fundamental to its gameplay. Uncharted is a shooter with 2 chapters where you drive a Jeep, and there are details Death Stranding could learn from this game, like how you gain more traction when driving on rocks instead of mud. As a shooter, Uncharted 4 is one of the most unconventionally paced. You don't actually do any shooting until
that
chapter
Nerf gun?
4 when Nathan starts blasting targets
Oh
in his
yeah,
head
that's
with a
right.
Nerf gun.
Wait, what?
Shootouts are sprinkled into this
Why?
game more as a reward.
It was like
than
the
a constant.
beginning. He's
It's
like
a
in his
very
attic and he
gradual
finds a
buildup
Nerf
that
gun.
subliminally aligns the player with Nathan Drake's thirst for adventure, and by the time that it finally gets to the action, oh.
Did you see the Uncharted movie? I heard it was terrible.
I haven't watched it. I know they put it on Netflix though. So
We should do that as a watch. We should do that. We should watch it together and just like,
do a review.
yeah.
We should do that.
One of those times where we watch when I come over and we're just like, let's watch. I'm getting
Right,
sucked.
let's just watch like 4 movies and do a bunch of reviews.
Damn, this was a lot of play. This is really cool. Did you platinum this?
No, I never platinumed
7
it, but
years later, I am
I think I
still
played it
waiting
through
on
2 of the
AAA video
difficulties.
games to look and play like this. However, what really sets Uncharted 4 apart is its strong storytelling, which is still today the
So they got
rarest
married?
quality in video games. With most games, it seems like the developers make the levels and assets first, then the writers come in and try to string those things together in a coherent way. I don't know if that really is how games are written, but it would explain why most games have such stupid, nothing stories. Uncharted 4 feels uncompromised, like the writers came up with the craziest treasure hunt they could imagine, didn't even take into account how the studio would turn that into a video game, and then Naughty Dog actually did. For the first half of the game, every chapter takes place somewhere else. You start in an orphanage, then you're in a prison in Panama, now you're a scuba diver, now you gotta do a heist in Italy, now you gotta find the pirate's tomb in Scotland. Bad news, environment designers, the treasure is actually in Africa. Well, to be more specific, it's actually in a market town in Madagascar. Well, actually, seeing is believing. What I love about Naughty Dog is how they illustrate their stories instead of spoon-feeding them to you through lazy exposition dumps. You aren't reading text logs about Henry Avery and Libertalia. No, it's all unfolding before your eyes.
Good.
The ominous subtitle, A Thief's End, could be referring to a dozen different characters. This is a story about rummaging through the ruins of other people's stories. A letter from Chloe stowed away in the attic. Evelyn's
Divorcing.
lifeless manor full of priceless
leaving you.
objects. Joseph
taking the
Burns'
kids.
abandoned cell. Henry Avery's elaborate trials and failed utopia. All of these stories contrast and overlap with Nathan Drake's own story, presenting hypothetical paths which he could have or could still go down. The characters here don't just spout off their deepest inner feelings. Instead, it's on the actors to communicate those emotions.
Is he retired at the beginning of it?
They're like, yeah, they got married and they just kind of like
Settled down.
he works for this like underwater piping company or something like that. So
Huh. But okay, it's just like,
yeah, he's just like he does an adventure at the beginning of it.
gotcha.
Emotions in a more subtle way through facial expressions, body language, and tone. What's
well.
magic about this style of storytelling is how it allows each player to come to their own conclusions. The lure of adventure beckons Nathan Drake out of his comfortable life, but just as he accomplishes his goal, the thrill vanishes, reappearing in the dark distance. When Sam unloads this insane story about breaking out of jail with Hector Alcazar, even on my first playthrough, I thought, yeah, this is total bullshit. Nathan knows his brother. He knows it's bullshit, but he wants to believe what he's hearing so much that he doesn't question it. Most people would be pretty envious of the life Nathan has set up. He's got a nice house, a job where he can still dig up treasure, a fridge full of beer, and a beautiful wife that loves Crash Bandicoot. Why? Why would you risk all of that? Of course, you push that question aside when Sully shows up and it starts feeling like a real deal Uncharted game. Just like Last of Us 2, the narrative tricks you into wanting to fulfill the selfish desires of its protagonist. In 99% of games, the player is meant to feel like a hero, like your actions are saving the world. In Uncharted 4, you are ruining this man's marriage so that he can pretend to be Indiana Jones.
How is Elena cool with all this?
It's That's a really good way to put it.
Uncharted.
Was like you feel like Indiana Jones?
Yeah, it's like ruining your marriage so you can feel like Indiana Jones again.
4 is masterful in how it sets its character motivations in conflict with each other. In Sam's mind, it's always been him and Nate versus the world since they were kids. Then Sully and Elena took him away. Ironically, this is how we perceive Sam. To us, he's the outsider. He wasn't there for Uncharted 1 where you had to shoot 300 zombies. He wasn't
Wait,
there
what?
for Uncharted 2 where you had to fight a Yeti. He wasn't there
Oh,
for
right,
Uncharted 2
yeah.
where you had to go to Subway. We trust Sam about as much as Sully does. The rift between his father figures goes both ways.
Why are you here, Victor? Because somebody's got to keep an eye out for him.
When Nathan discovers his brother is still alive, he spends all night recapping the entire Uncharted trilogy before remembering that he has a wife.
I'm married. I can't believe Elena from the stories. That's my wife.
Sam Drake isn't a villain.
I feel like it's something
He
you should have
brings
started out
the worst
with.
part of his brother.
Yeah, right.
And it's not until he finally teams up with Elena that Nathan starts stepping out of the shadow of Henry Avery. St. Dismas said, "We receive the due rewards of our deeds." But do we? Did the gullible optimist of Libertalia deserve such a harrowing fate? Does Sam deserve Nate? And does Nate deserve Sully and Elena? Uncharted blurs the past with present in many ways, challenging us to split the difference. One more time, the camera pans out from Crash Bandicoot, which does not have a scoring system, by the way, to reveal
What does it do with
Sandra
anything?
Drake. This ending, man, dude, this is the most fulfilling, joyous ending I have ever experienced in a video game.
I like that
It's
picture
one
of Sully.
that takes on a whole new context for me, now that me and Leah are having our own daughter. Because this was actually a baby video the whole time. We having a baby, everybody.
I was gonna say, I was like, when did he announce he was having a baby?
Actually, he announced. Well, I saw his wife announce it on Twitter the other day,
Oh, nice.
but that must have been when this video released.
Right.
But that's
All into that. Beautiful.
beautiful.
Well, congrats, Stunky. That's awesome.
I'm so confused though. So, but he still rates it at 3 out of 5, and he says like one of the best games ever made.
I don't know. Because he was like, "Oh, I'm never wrong, but I was wrong, but I'm never wrong." So.
Yeah, so I don't know where. Also, we're matching. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Guys,
The merch.
this isn't for sale, but yeah. One day you guys will have merch that you could buy.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Well, it's the other way. All right, like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.